gases that destroy nitric oxide, while simultaneously reducing protective antioxidant mechanisms. This leads to atherosclerosis, formerly known as hardening of the arteries, which in turn is the major cause of heart attacks and strokes. Pomegranate extract, via several different but completely known mechanisms, restore your body's endothelial defenses, lower your risk for cardiovascular events, and help keep your arteries supple and youthful. And also 1 glass of beet juice a day will make the difference. So, let's see, I don't see any calls, so let's say hello to, one. Paula from Florida. Hi, Paula.
Hello, Gary. It's Paula. How are you doing today?
Fine.
My husband David is under a severe attack of psoriasis. We have tried umpteen different things. Nothing is working.
Well, one thing you haven't changed is your belief systems. Stress is one of the number one causes of psoriasis. When you're stressed and you have elevation of cortisol and epinephrine, and your blood sugar goes up because of stress, so de-stressing and having something that really excites you, not something that's a routine, not something that's a ritual, not something that people in gated communities or semi-retirement engage in, which just speeds up the death process, but something that excites and that also cleanses, something that you can do every day. Push yourself beyond the boundaries of detoxing, do a really thorough, comprehensive, complete detoxification. My suggestion is find one of the many good centers around the United States, go there and spend a month. Really de-stress detox. Start doing yoga, meditation, things that make a difference. So you're not going to find this in a vitamin. It's a lifestyle. Luann Panesi. Hi, Luann.
Oh, Gary. I have a bunch of emails here. I have one here from Kate. She doesn't say where she's from. And she says, I am one of the million of millennials. And she says, we really can't afford all the things we need for our family, for our home, and we can't really engage in the career of our choices today, even though Obama is saying how great the economy is. What advice can you give?
Millennials are making a big mistake. They're trying to do two things simultaneously. They're trying to have meaningful careers and a standard of living that historically been part of their parents' and grandparents' legacy of having a nice home. The trouble is, in the areas where they would be the most likely to find upper mobility, San Francisco, New York City, for example, those are also the highest. San Francisco right now has the highest housing in the United States, and yet it also has the highest growth factor for millennials in careers. Whereas if you went to Dayton, Ohio, you would end up having the least expensive housing, but also you'd have the least opportunity to grow in your job. So the cities and the states where you are not going to grow have less expensive housing. So it goes like this. If you want to be in Pittsburgh, San Jose, Salt Lake City, yeah, those are considered now dream cities. But also, you're going to have to go to the Rust Belt and some other places in the Southeast if you want to find affordable housing. I suggest you not look at buying a house at all. I don't believe anybody should be buying houses right now because we're going into a major depression. I believe that what we should be doing is looking for quality of life. And millennials are going to have to get the idea that they've been lied to. They got educations that frequently will not benefit them unless they're specializations, which will. They're living in environments that are too expensive, and they're creating massive debt. So why don't they start looking at shared communities, holistic communities, environmentally sound communities, where you can live inexpensively, you can develop other skills and traits that allow you to be able to barter and have fair exchange and be around other people who are also more idealistic and more environmentally sensitive and more green. That's the way I would go if I was a millennial today and did not have a career or one that I was happy with. I would get out of the cities, I'd get away from the expense. I don't want to go to the Rust Belt. I don't want to go to Akron I don't want to go to some of these cities where you can afford a house, but, you could say go to Detroit, you can afford a house. Yeah, well, that'd be nice. No, it wouldn't. Where are you going to live there? So, but also don't deceive yourself that the only future is living in New York or one of these other very hot and very expensive places to live. That's my suggestion.
Did you say Pittsburgh was a green city?
No, I said Pittsburgh is one of the cities that's very expensive, but has a lot of opportunity for younger people. Remember, Pittsburgh is a university town.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of industries in that area that younger people could get into. But these are also industries that are in computers and engineering and architecture, in medicine, in some of the basic sciences. For the majority of people going to college, they don't have a background in that. So now you're stuck with a degree that does not apply to where you want to live and cost of living that are beyond what your means are. So it makes no sense.
But it's endemic now, Gary. I work with so many people that have these huge student loans that have gone to college, and while they were in college, they were even working to pay off, books and things like that. And now they can't find a job. They're living at home. They're struggling.
55% are living at home. However, the burden is not when they live at home. The burden is 12 million senior citizens are having their bank accounts confiscated, their Social Security and wages, at least 30% of that is garnished, and because you can put liens against the income. And that's because they co-signed. What the students in America should do is join together in a national effort with supportive teachers and demand the law be changed so they can discharge these debts with bankruptcy and stop all compounded interest. In fact, take all interest to zero. That's what they should do. Now, you have enough students that politically you could do it. So you can't do it both ways. You can't be at home without a job where someone is going to be responsible for your bills, and that generally is your father or mother, grandfather, grandmother, and instead you could be out there demonstrating. You could be out there writing articles about how we got these laws in the first place, so you couldn't discharge your debt, and why there's interest being made by the government of over $47 million a year, $47 billion a year from student loans, and you could change the laws. That's where they should put their energy. If they don't do that, then they are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome.